Hello and welcome to the Swishpan. I'm here with Shane Ormond.
And I'm here with Danny McDragon.
Correct.
Apparently.
Yes.
Tonight you can reach us on our Twitter at FeckTV. And Danny, what have you got for us today?
First up, I want to talk to you about Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been following my articles, but apparently he's lost his shit a little bit. Now you're aware that in the movie The Avengers, and the films preceding it, he'd been making all sorts of cameos as this character Nick Fury.
Yeah, for a while he wasn't so much an actor as a cameo.
Yeah, well, he kind of is like that. I mean, so there's something about this story, and we'll get to that in a moment, right?
Yeah.
Basically, to set the scene for you, they actually shot The Avengers in the same lot as Breaking Bad, okay? So Samuel L. Jackson literally rocks up to the producers of Breaking Bad and literally asked them, could he do a cameo in character, in Breaking Bad, as Nick Fury.
As Nick Fury.
As Nick Fury.
Does he understand who Nick Fury is?
I doubt it.
Does he know he's in a comic book movie?
Does he know he's in every movie?
Does he know what Breaking Bad is?
Yeah, I'd imagine he does. You know, I mean, how do they work that in? Does Thor get a meth addiction? I'm not sure.
Is that how he gets movies? Does he just wander onto sets and go like, oh, I'm in this movie now? What is it, snakes on a plane? Go.
Well, I would say, I wonder, does he even have an agent? Does he just turn up at studios and wait till he's asked to leave, you know? Sorry, Sam, we can't do anything for you. Nick Fury's not going to be in this. Yeah, I don't know. Views on that?
Do I have views on that? It's mental.
Yeah, it's a little nutty, all right.
No, he's always been a bit of a personality, but he seems like a nice enough guy. He's always jumped to Tarantino's defense, you know, when Spike Jonze gets mad at him.
Yeah, over the use of certain words.
I don't think he's a bad guy or anything. He is a bit mental.
But you know the thing about him is, right, I think he was literally about 50 before he actually made it. Right,
yeah.
so he was probably struggling for roles rather up until that point. You know, taking anything he could get, not straight there.
So he doesn't know he doesn't have to anymore.
It's like you get to age 50 or so, and you want to try and leave a legacy behind you. You know, so he's there, and he's just churning them out. Snakes on a Plane. Actually, the director David O. Ellis died this week. He was found dead in a hotel in South Africa.
Really?
Yes, slightly dark note there.
Did he do any good films?
No, well, the funny thing about Snakes on a Plane was he was pitching the film to Samuel L. Jackson to do it, and he said, listen, I'll do it on one condition. You call it Snakes on a Plane. Which was actually the greatest...
It was marketing genius.
Yeah, internet hype machine. It worked, didn't it?
Yeah. Or he was just dumb enough to work.
In more somber yet uplifting news at the same time, did you hear about the dying Star Trek fan?
I did. I like this.
It's like the opening to a really nerdy joke. But it's not. It's a nice story. So this guy had leukemia, and basically he got diagnosed with cancer, then on some other type of cancer on top of that.
So he double cancer.
Double cancer.
Oh.
Not laughing about it.
Yeah.
And anyway, basically all these bloggers started started blogging away about how this guy wanted to see a cut of Star Trek II Into Darkness, the sequel to the reboot. And yeah, he got his wish like a week before he died.
So he got to see the new Star Trek film?
He did.
Did he like it?
He did. The only words he was allowed to use were wow and fantastic.
Did they hand him like a piece of paper and be like, you can only say this about it?
One can only assume. Had he not liked it, as you mentioned earlier, he might have just said, it wasn't wow, it wasn't fantastic.
That would be awful for your movie if a dying guy gave it a bad review. It was like, it wasn't very good. It was okay.
Are you a Twin Peaks fan?
I've started watching it. I'm not yet a fan, though. I am familiar with the weirdness of it.
You're familiar anyway that the second season ended about,
a long time ago.
15 years ago or something. My maths isn't great.
It's hard to tell because the video quality is so bad. It could be from anywhere, anytime.
This is true. Right. Well, producer Robert Engels suddenly announced to the world during the week that he was working on season 3. That was going to happen, and it caused, which is fair enough because season 2 kind of ends on a weird note. It doesn't feel complete in any way. So when he started talking about reuniting the cast and all this was, if everyone started, all the geeky people like me were up in arms about it, going, this could be great, this could be terrible. But anyway, about 2 days later, everyone else involved came on and said that. Well, that's
I presume you mean David Lynch got...
David Lynch, Mark Frost, the other two main people involved. Yeah.
What is David Lynch up to at the moment?
Just growing that beautiful white hair of his.
That amazing head of hair.
It does look like it's been cut with a lawnmower.
It looks like someone got Ted Danson and like put him in a drying machine and just...
Yeah, and the world's first, voluntary albino.
Yeah.
Your favourite topic, and he just won't let me leave it out of the show. We're going to talk about Justin Bieber for just a moment here.
Yeah, brilliant.
How do you feel about Bieber?
How do I feel about him personally? Or He's grand, like he's a kid. He doesn't really.
Well, in his life this week, he's become a murdering, cheating, drug-using bastard.
Who did he kill?
Well, technically, he inadvertently was involved in a death.
Did he plan it?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have. I'll tell you why.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Here's the story, right? Yeah. So this well-known paparazzi dude thought he was following Bieber's sports car.
Yeah.
He followed it. He pulled out in the middle of the road trying to fucking take a snap of him. Boom, hit by a car, okay? So somehow, it turns out Bieber wasn't even in the car, okay?
Yeah.
You know, you get what you deserve, which is a horrible thing to say. But
died the way he lived.
yeah, okay, so then the other big news was there's all these pictures of him in a hotel room with another woman who isn't Selena Gomez. I'm not sure who that is anyway.
Is he going out with Selena Gomez? Or?
Who knows?
I don't know. So it's just, isn't Selena Gomez?
Showbiz gossip.
Do you want to name anyone else that isn't? Or?
Yeah, it could or could not be Jerry Halliwell. So anyway, he's caught smoking joints.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think the only reason that people are making like a big deal out of it is because he makes crap music.
Yeah.
Like if he made really good music, they'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like the other side of the coin. You get all the women, you get all this stuff, you have this amazing life, but then at the end of the day, you can't even smoke a joint. Not that we're advocating that.
People keep giving out about how he has like a responsibility to his fans, but like,
yeah,
I don't really. It's fine. Like it's his own personal life. Do what he wants.
Yeah, okay. And then there was this cut for Bieber thing. Do you hear about that?
Yeah.
Hashtag cut for Bieber. If you want to find us on Twitter, just hashtag cut for Bieber. So basically, presumably done by internet trolls, uploaded pictures of basically horrifying pics of people's arms have been slashed with razor blades, saying we're gonna keep cutting ourselves until Bieber stops using drugs.
Yeah. I would presume this wasn't like a serious thing at first.
No, as far as I can understand, this is the kind of thing you can imagine a couple of friends doing as a laugh, hashtag cut for Bieber. Yeah, but you know how people are. So next thing you know, you've got kids all across America cutting themselves for Bieber, saying, Bieber, please give up that weed.
That's so horrible, and that's probably going to cause like an incredible amount of psychological problems. Like you're going to see like in about 10 years, there's going to be an increase in people with psychological problems in the mid-20s. But like it's still so funny. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm thinking for the next show? If you want to get in touch with us, you should just hashtag cut Bieber.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag cut Bieber.
TV.com. When you said cut for Bieber, I thought he was doing like a film or something.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing like that going on.
No. Thank God.
Okay, so did you want to talk a little bit about this film, Cloud Atlas?
Cloud Atlas, yeah. I've seen it and you've seen it.
I have.
Just kind of like a general impression. What did you think of it? Like, did you enjoy it?
Okay, my general impression of that film is probably as muddled as the film itself. Now, having said that, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, just to explain, the film takes place across 5 generations, going between the 1800s and 2321. And it jumps between like a colonist, a composer, various writers, a musician, and...
Shane?
Yeah?
What's a colonist?
What's a colonist? A person who colonizes?
Oh, nothing to do with colon. All right, go on.
No, not a colonist.
All right, yeah.
And then like some cavemen and some weird stuff. And then there's like a connecting thread between them all. Did you catch the connecting thread?
No, what was the connecting thread?
In like all the timelines, they all had a piece of media. So in one of them it was a record, in one of them it was a book, another one it was a film. And the film or the book...
the song, wasn't it?
Yeah, the song was one of them.
Spoiler, yeah.
But like one of them was like a film in another one of them, and one of them was a book in another thing. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
And it's not very linear, and it's not filmed in chronologically. No. And it jumps back and forth. It is confusing. It is very enjoyable.
And if you don't know, just to add the extra layer of confusion to this, you have multiple actors like Tom Hanks all playing different characters.
Yeah, and a lot of the actors will play one character in each generation. Along with the ridiculous makeup.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Can we call up some of the ridiculous makeup on the screen?
Yeah, I think maybe we roll for just the teaser first to give people a sense of what's going on. Yeah, we have a 30-second TV spot there. Yeah.
Something important happened.
I won't let you go again.
You ever think the universe is against you?
Cloud Atlas, rated R, in theaters and IMAX, October 26th.
If you just look at that trailer, it's pretty slick. Like it looks really, really good. that is the most expensive independent movie, and that like no studio paid for that movie.
Yes.
It came in at $102 million. Is
that all?
Yeah, just pocket change.
No, but seriously, for that many actors, and I presume.
Well, a lot of the people who went into it would have been going in like on a reduced pay salary, understanding that it was such an ambitious project, and people would have to take hits in their salary for that.
Right.
And it was also the most expensive German movie ever made, and it's billed as the first ever German blockbuster, but it isn't in German.
Right.
But
so they got duped a little bit there, didn't they?
Yeah, it's all made with German money, and it's made in Germany.
Take that, Germany.
About the makeup.
Yes.
I honestly think it's some of the best makeup I've seen in film in years, like the very best. And I think it's some of the most interesting makeup I've seen in years. And it's some of the worst bloody makeup I've seen ever.
And inadvertently one of the most racist films ever made.
Yeah, I think it's the closest to being racist without actually being racist.
Agreed.
Ever. Like, it's incredible. Like, especially in the future where everybody's Asian.
Yes. That was kind of an ear sore.
And they look absolutely ridiculous, and they put on fake kind of racist Asian accents. And even though there's no reason they should, because they speak English is their first language in the future.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't talk like that. We have a couple of pictures of them.
Yeah, we got a couple of JPEGs there. We're going to roll on in a moment. Yeah, we're just going to, you'll see some of this. This is some of the more extreme and less believable images, shall we say. See, first up we got Hugh Grant as a cannibal.
Hugh Grant, he's looking a bit like an orc.
Yeah.
I thought they were quite orcish.
It's not for weddings, Hugh Grant.
He was looking quite mournful in that picture. I tried to find a picture of him online when he was all like, blah, and covered in blood.
Look, we got Irish Tom Hanks there. That was Irish Tom Hanks.
We're flying through
a little bit of a stereotype.
That's
Hugo Weaving as a woman.
Yeah, that was a bit like, no one thought that Hugo Weaving was a woman.
I just assumed that was Hugh Grant as well. Now, that is white Halle Berry. White. It's the opposite to a minstrel. What's that?
Well, yeah,
what's a white minstrel?
They're whiting up.
They're whiting up.
Yeah, and you can't really complain though.
Here we go. This is the worst one. I didn't realize he was supposed to be Asian until the end of the fucking movie.
He looks like if John Cusack and Joan Cusack had a child.
The fifth Beatle.
Like the Asians look like the product of Cusack inbreeding.
Hugo Weaving as a friggin' Vulcan.
Yeah, no one thought he was Asian.
No, he was just.
That was ridiculous.
That's what was going on there.
Yeah.
So as you can see, diverse performances to say the least.
Yeah, we flew through those.
We did.
And it was another thing I didn't really like was in the kind of Neanderthal where we saw Hugh Grant as kind of like the tribal guy, that kind of era. They spoke in pidgin English.
Yes.
And it worked fine in the book because it was like, me hungry, and you go like, oh, okay, that means he's hungry. And then they're doing it on the film constantly, and you're like, I don't speak pidgin English, and I kind of get what he's saying, but it's just an effort to listen to what he's saying the whole time.
I hear you.
And then they break it out of nowhere.
Well, let's get the overall, because we're running out of time here. Overall impression of the film. How would you rate it?
Good. I would say there was a lot wrong with it, but it was generally a very ambitious movie, and I would like to see more like it.
Well, what are we going to do? Are we going to be rating films out of 10 on this show? 2 thumbs up? How do you want to go about this?
Can we rate it out of like 14 stars?
14, yes. Out of 14 stars, how many would you give it?
I would give it 11.
I'll go with an 8.
8, okay.
A solid 8. Okay, we've got one more clip to show you, and this is from RTE presenter Angus McGreana, or whatever his name is. Today, I wanted to get the better version clip, but it was actually pulled by the time lunchtime
yeah,
came
RTE
around
are getting on that.
This is the presenter who actually recently referred to the Apollo 17 as the Enterprise. So a little more gold from Angus McGreana for you here. Okay, as you can see, there's McGreana putting on the makeup, fixing his tie, doesn't know the cameras are back on him. Yes, that's right, Angus, we're live. And this is the bit where he goes, what? And cut to black. Angus, you bleeding zope.
God, we couldn't even get the audio on that.
No, we didn't, but we improvised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your impression of him again?
No, that won't happen again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've probably only got 1 minute left in the show. Would you like to talk about Dark Universe?
I would, but do you know what we should have done with the Cloud Atlas one?
What
we could have just have you doing all the voices for all of them.
We should have done that. That would have been twice as racist.
Yeah.
Last minute, let's talk about DC, Vertigo, comics, big screen.
You only told me about it today. Very excited. It's the Dark Universe of DC, Vertigo Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any sense because...
No.
all those characters, they don't really like hanging out with other people. You've got like, you know, a magician with lung cancer. You've got a man who's made out of the swamp.
Swamp thing.
He doesn't get out much. He doesn't go to clubs or anything.
No.
And you've got Dead Man, who's a ghost and can't talk to people.
Yeah.
It's not really like, you know, the Avengers.
It's kind of the rejected Avengers, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Who
can't.
never wanted to hang out in the first place anyway.
No, it would be like a really, really bad night out.
Okay, to hear more about rejection, join in next week for another episode of Swishpan.
Swishpan.
That's what we're called. Swishpan.